How many people can afford to own a home? Good evening, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, always live with no edits. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button now, as you're going to like what I'm about to say. So yes, right here to my left, I am featuring Grogu, aka Baby Yoda. And this being a 2013, this is actually the I'm sorry, not 2013, 2023 is actually the third annual APMEX exclusive release. So these were initially released in 2020, and since then they continue to be released because they are very, very popular. And of course, they feature what many would say, oh man, that's Yoda. Of course, it's Grogu, Grogu, didn't mean to mispronounce that, but people are going to think it's Yoda. So that's why I say Baby Yoda. And of course, an adorned character from the Star Wars series. So it's no wonder why they sell out quickly each year. And the same way there's so many Disney fans, Disney lovers who are adults, that's an even more reason why you should be collecting these, because they're going to be getting bought up constantly. Even if it's not a silver person, just the fact that it's Yoda and them being a Star Wars fan, they're going to want to buy this one. The same way they're going to want to buy Darth Vader. And that's why I like to feature this coin as well, because people always ask me about this one. They always ask me about Darth Vader. They always ask me about Superman. Probably amongst the most popular in this collection that you're seeing. But as soon as I saw this cute little fella, I knew I had to have him. And just very, very nice coins. So much detail put into them. Has that very, very nice quality coating. And you might think that this, see how it does that? You might think that's the lighting. It's actually not. I'm looking at it right now, not even through the screen, and it's doing the exact same thing. So just immense quality in those. And then to top it off, you can get them as low as $35 to $36 with free shipping. So excellent. That's a bargain right there. And real quick before I continue, I want to give a quick shout out to my loyal subscriber, Ron McAdams 7650, and there's a comment from last night. I never considered investing in Barber quarters because of the amount of wear that I see on most of them. I changed my mind and just ordered my first coin. I cannot wait to hold it in my hand. Thanks for featuring. Woo, great comment right there. And of course, and yes, I was discussing the Barber quarters because I recently started getting them. Even though I've been collecting for years, I started purchasing. I purchased a 1900, 1901, 1902, 1903, and 1904. And of course, I want to go up the ladder. But this is the coin that he's talking about. I feel like they're massively underrated. Yes, there is a lot of wear and tear, but I mean, consider how old this piece is. And generally, these sell for around $20 to $30, depending the condition. This one that you're looking at right here, which is in actually very, very good condition, I should even consider putting it in a seal. This one right here could easily sell for like $25, $30. The back's really nice too. You see all the stars. You see all the lettering. Of course, you see more clear lettering on this side, but just Barber quarters cannot go wrong. Massively underrated, and I wish I had started collecting them years ago, but I'm just thankful that I am now. More pressure is coming to the U.S. consumer, but the rich are going to get filthy rich. If you own assets that you can control during tough times, you're going to be able to acquire more and more. Look at it like this. If the average home in America costs over $500,000, how many people can afford to own a home? Not many. And people who have homes are paying much more in taxes, insurance, and upkeep. That's why more and more people are being forced to sell. And all the wealthy people who have tons of money, they're not just sitting on their devaluing paper. They're parking that capital into real estate, land, gold, silver, whatever they can to protect it. While everybody else, the lower class and what's left of the middle class, just tries to make it day by day, selling off whatever they can to survive. With all these new and upcoming investments will come massive change. You either want to be buying land, gold, and or silver. Gold and silver has existed since the beginning of time. They call it God's money for a reason. It's valuable to know this because the better information you have, the better decisions you will make. The safest assets are always, it's always gold and silver. That's why America's enemies are pushing as much as they can. Right now, our marketplace is buying debt and only asking for more since so many Americans lack liquidity. Most Americans live off debt because they need it. They have no options, unfortunately. The government spends more and more, which distorts our economy, making it less efficient. The working class, the middle class, we bear the burden. Stacking gold and silver is the most obvious thing to be doing right now. The billionaires, the ruling class, all these CEOs, they're stacking on actual assets. They're cashing out on all this funny money. They call it fiat money, but it's funny money, not backed by anything, just trust, which has eroded. And when the system does in fact wreck, they're gonna buy back in after everyone has lost everything. So keep that in mind. Oof. Speaking about market crashes, look what I got right here. 1930 Mercury dime. So what's really interesting about the Mercury dimes is that's actually not the Greek god Mercury. But when these were originally released, people thought that it was Mercury. They thought that it highly resembled Mercury. So even though this is supposed to be Liberty, it got the name Mercury because it looks like the Greek god Mercury. And that's actually something that I learned, years down the line on stacking silver, and that's super cool to know. But these Mercury dimes are just solid gems. I see these, they range anywhere from $6 to $30, just depending the condition, of course. But these are just excellent buys. And if you are serious in this game and you don't have a boatload of Mercury dimes, you need to get a boatload of Mercury dimes ASAP. And if they're in great condition, decent condition like this one, definitely encase it. And I promise you, there's going to be people hitting you up to buy it from you. Anywhere from 10 to $35, just depending how nice it looks. And of course, depending the year that they're looking for. That year was actually a little bit harder to find. And of course, I have 1916, 17, 18, 1920. But I do not believe I have a 21. For some reason, the 1921s are very expensive. And I've noticed that a few other years in the Mercury dimes, you can't find them inexpensive. They are costly. And that's really with the variety of coins, certain years they might not have released so many, like with the American Eagles. So I've noticed that certain years in the 90s for the American Eagles, the premiums are up, and the lowest I'm finding those certain years is $55, $60. But then you can find a generic year like 2022, 2023, 2024, and you're getting much more reasonable pricing. And yes, everybody, we all know, you go to my description, you're going to see that I have just released my third novel. This is a sports epic. It is a sports thriller, highly entertaining, not for children. But if you are a fan of films like Goodfellas, Friday Night Lights, The Natural, Raging Bull, all those elements that I'm discussing, all those awesome films that I discussed, I brought them into this story. It is fictitious, but I wrote it as if it's based on a true story about the greatest baseball player that ever lived during the 1990s. It's a beautiful story, and I'm not going to say anything else, but go to my description, check it out. I actually have 2 other books there for sale. My first one was a dark comedy. My second one was a crime thriller. And then, of course, This one, which I will tell you now, is my ultimate best. My personal opinion, this is my all-time best story thus far. Please check it out. You go to my description, guys. But as always, thank you so much. This was another evening with Silver Dad Knows. God bless you. God bless your household. And God bless America.